Disclaimer, dog customization is not for children. I'm using toxic chemicals as well as sharpened tools. Hello, I am Susika and welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to make a special project. I will be making a bee queen art doll. Are you excited? Let's start. This is today's candidate, a Monster High doll. I bought her second hand. She is missing one of her antennas. First, I cut the hair as close to the scalp as possible. This is how the doll looks like now, and I am cutting off her remaining antenna. This doll was originally a moth, I think. She has her hands in the wrong place. Her body color is yellow and she has very large eye moles. Next, I'm going to fix the doll's loose joints. For that, I apply a drop of super glue to the hip joint, then turn the leg until the glue has fully dried. I repeat this with her second leg. I move the leg until the glue has fully dried. This is very important. Next, I am fixing her loose knee joints. I apply a drop of super glue to the knee joint and then I bend the leg until the glue has fully dried. I repeat this with a second leg. If one drop of super glue is not enough to fix the joint, repeat the process. After that, I bring water to a boil, then soak the doll's head in the hot water for at least 10 minutes. This will soften the vinyl, making it easier for me to remove the head from the neck pack. The hot water has also softened the glue inside the doll's head. I am taking an old screwdriver and scrape the inside of the head, loosening the hair roots and the glue. With needle nose pliers, I remove what is inside the head. After that, I soak a cotton pad in pure acetone, then I remove the printed on face. Wear gloves when you work with acetone. After that, I clean the doll's head and body with running water and soap, and then it is time for the reroot. For that, I am using synthetic doll hair. I also need a rerooting tool, which is a needle I cut at an angle in a handle. This doll will have black hair with blonde stripes. I start rerooting at the hairline. This is how the hairline looks after I have completely rerooted it. Next, I will fill in the rest of the holes in the scalp with doll hair. I am using synthetic doll hair for this. Rerooting takes many hours, but the result will be worth it. This is how the doll's head looks after I have fully rerooted it. I left 2 spots where I will be attaching the new antennas. I will be taking 2 flower buds and then paint them black. I think they have the right shape and the right length for antennas. I take black acrylic paint and paint the flower buds and the stems. I let the acrylic paint fully dry. Then I apply matte varnish and let it dry. Next, I add a drop of hot glue and attach the new antenna to the doll's head. This worked very well actually. Once the hot glue has fully dried, I paint it with a permanent marker in black. Use a marker which is suitable for all surfaces. Then I fill in the rest of the head with doll hair. Next, I need to secure the hair roots inside the head. For that, I need thick glue. I spread the glue inside the head with a brush covering all of the hair roots. I then let the glue dry fully. Once the glue has fully dried, I carefully brush the doll's head. Next, I paint the hands of the doll black with black acrylic paint. As this is going to be a bee, I will be painting black stripes onto the yellow body. It is best to mix the acrylic paint with a bit of water and to work in thin layers of paint. I am trying to work as clean as possible. I also add black stripes to her legs. I let the acrylic paint fully dry, then I take a toothpick to clean up the paint. I can simply scratch the dried paint from her body. After that, I apply another layer of thin paint on the black stripes. With a toothpick, I clean the paint from the pecks on her hands. Acrylic paint would come off if I bend the hands. This is why I am coloring the hand pecks with an alcoholic marker. Use a marker which is suitable for all surfaces. I remove the underarms from the doll's body and color the arm pecks in black with my alcoholic marker. Then I paint the arms black. I have applied 2 layers of Mr. Super Clear UV Cut Flat Spray to the body, and now I am adding black soft pastels to her joints and feet. I take a clean finger and rub the pastels into the sealant layers. This way the pastel powder is more opaque. Here I am adding pastels to her shoulders. I add a layer of sealant spray, then I apply another layer of pastel powder. I apply another layer of sealant spray, then I add more pigment to the doll's body. Once I'm done, I add another layer of sealant spray so the pastels stay in place. Then I cover the painted parts of the body with matte varnish. I let the varnish fully dry. Next, I am working on an outfit for my bee queen. I am going to use this yellow organza material and black material which is shiny. First, I will be making a skirt for my doll. I cut a piece of fabric, then gather the fabric with needle and thread. . This material easily breaks and I'm working carefully. I then wrap the material around the doll's waist and connect the ends of the thread with a knot. Next, I'm making panties for the doll out of the shiny black material. I close the sides of the panties with a drop of glue. I am adding a black ribbon to the waist of the doll. I keep the ribbon in place with a dot of glue. I also added a necklace to my doll, which is a hair ring with a bead charm. Next, I tie bows out of black ribbon and attach bead charms to the middle with needle and thread. I stick the ribbons to the skirt with a drop of glue. Next, I add sparkling rhinestones with a bit of glue. I take black sandals and remove the upper part of the sandals. I don't want the shoes to cover too much of the stripes of the doll's body. I then add the shoes to the doll. Now it is time to make wings for my bee doll. I make a pattern, then cut Angelina foil into the right shape. I take a wire, then spread glue onto the wire with my fingertips and add the wire to the Angelina foil. I then add another piece of foil. Let the glue fully dry and then I am going to iron the wings. And this is how the finished wings look. I attach the wings to the doll's back with hot glue. I have a full tutorial on my YouTube channel on how to make doll wings. It is the first video I ever uploaded. I add a bead charm to cover where I have attached the wings to the body. Next, I clean the doll's face once again with acetone, cover her face with a cotton fabric, and then I apply 2 layers of Mr. Super Clear UV Cut Flat sealant spray. Let each sealant spray layer dry for at least 15 minutes. Once the sealant spray has dried, I add soft pastels to my doll face. I'm adding red to her cheeks and black to her lips and as eyeshadow. I accidentally used dark brown pastels, but I'm going to replace the brown soft pastels with black in a minute. After a layer of sealant spray, I add more red soft pastels to her cheeks and to her forehead. With a kneaded eraser, I can clean up the pastel powders. I add some more black pastel powder to her lips and to her eyeshadow. After a layer of sealant, I add more pigment to the doll's face. I always work in layers to build up opacity. Whenever I want to save my progress, I add a layer of sealant spray. Next, I take a black watercolor pencil and add eyebrows to the doll's face. I also color the corners of her lips with black, and I add white watercolor pencil pigment to her eyes. This doll has very large eye moles, which I don't like, and I am drawing smaller eyes onto the doll's face. With a black watercolor pencil, I outline her eyes, then I add yellow watercolor pigment to her iris. With a red brush, I can clean up mistakes that I make with the watercolor pencils. After a layer of sealant spray, I add more watercolor pencil pigment to her face. Her eyes will be golden, and as a base, I draw irises with a yellow watercolor pencil. Here I am adding the pupils with a black watercolor pencil. I outline the iris in black. I use a black watercolor pencil to paint the lash line. I add some more white pink to the sclera. I also add a highlight to her lips. Next, I take golden wet watercolor paint and paint the iris golden. After the watercolor has dried, I add sealant spray, and then I add golden shimmer to her eyeshadow. The layer of sealant spray, I add a bit of bronze colored watercolor paint to her iris, and then I try to paint white eyelashes, but they look very bad, so I remove them with a wet brush and a tissue. I work some more on her eyes, then I add black lashes. I draw white highlights into the corners of her eyes. The layer of sealant, I add some more golden shimmer to her eyeshadow, which I seal in with another layer of sealant spray. I try to draw white catch lines into her eyes, but the white watercolor isn't opaque enough. Again, I work on her eyelashes. And I add pigment to her sclera with a wet watercolor pencil. I take a dotting tool and white gouaches to add catch lights. I create smaller catch lights with a pin. Then I color the eyelid with a white watercolor pencil. After 2 more layers of sealant spray, the faceup is done. I then notice that the acrylic paint is peeling off her antenna, and I remove the paint and color the antenna with a permanent marker. Then I add a crown charm to a doll hairband, creating a crown. I heat the neck hole in the head with a blow dryer and then reattach the head to the body. I cut the pin in half, then stick the pin into super glue and add a bead charm as an earring to the doll's ear. I braid the hair and the doll is fully drawn. Say hello to the Bee Queen, a rather unusual doll for my style. I am very happy with how she turned out, and I think she looks very unique. How do you like my Bee Queen? Tell me in the comments below. If you want to support me, follow me on social media or subscribe to my YouTube channel. This doll and many more are up for sale in my Etsy shop. Stay safe and be creative.